cost of touring, and my bands don't tour anymore. I'm sorry about the volume. What you see...
There it is.
Another few I have on the top of my head is
Okay.
So we stopped here on this guy Chris Buck again. Shout out to him. Look him up online. And we were talking about the cost of going on tour. Now these are the visa costs that they're dealing with, and this $10,000 represents legal fees that go to lawyer, because you have to have a lawyer if you're going to get a visa, like the kind of visas you have to get as a band
to travel internationally. Right. Well, this is talking about international touring, which I get. There's a lot more.
Panic at the Disco, technically.
But again, they were around when I was 3 years older than you.
So let's keep listening.
What me and Sammy are talking about over here is I was saying, are there bands anymore? Like when I think of current pop music, I think of solo artists like Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, like Olivia Rodrigo, whatever, Olivia Dean. Like I'm thinking of a single singer, but I don't know of any current bands. So we're trying to. Sam named a few, like Hozier and stuff.
So yes, Sam did name a few, and I wanted to bring this story up. This is an older story, a couple years ago, from the BBC, and it says that bands are now skipping more towns and cities on tour.
Sounds good.
And again, a big reason for this is a lot of the music venues end up closing, according to this story.
Why?
Too many parts of the country have become cultural deserts.
Well, nobody leaves their house.
Right.
All they do is sit at home on the couch looking at screens.
That's the point.
Again, the internet has ruined our society. Nobody does anything IRL anymore. It's all, virtual. And
this went into this program that they call the Music Venue Trust, which I think supports bands that, try to tour but may not have the ability. It says here in the story that Coldplay actually donates 10% of their proceeds from their tours to the Music Venue Trust.
I mean, I will say there is an element of this that is not new. Okay, like if you're a Coldplay or a Taylor Swift, you're making your billions. But if you're a local band that a lot of people don't know, well, yeah, you're a struggling artist. You ain't making no money. I mean, that's not a new thing.
I'm going to say this. There is a group, and this is like an online group, and people take classes for it. It's called the Rocking 1000. And they're mostly mostly do stuff on the other side of the world, and I've seen people want to go over, but they can't pay for visas and stuff.
Right. That's the point that we're making. This guy here, I get, and again, I don't have much background on who this gentleman is, but he's apparently a event manager that talked about touring and went through why musicians lose money on their tours and how to fix it. Now, this could be a BS kind of, stupid scheme, but there's a part here that says redefining touring success, and I want to hear what he has to say here.
I always see your the content that you do on Insta, and I know you chop it up like that, but it's always just like bar, and I haven't really been dropping that many bars.
You have. What are you talking about?
I've been just talking,
but that's how we do it. Yeah.
Let's just put it this way. I haven't been really trying to drop bars. Like I haven't been like, you artists need to get up out of here.
Okay, they're blowing each other, but hopefully they get to the point where they start talking about it.
I'm seeing, what I mean? I always see guys doing that shit on this.
Yeah, like Chris Adekute or so.
Yeah.
No,
No,
man, but I think what you're doing is like you're giving great value regardless. Like,
Yeah.
it might seem like that because, you know, if you're watching on Instagram, there's just like, you know, the way that we cut it. But like, I think like what you just talked about right there with the touring side of things, just for example, like the economics of it to make sure that it stays where you're making a profit. I think you drop bars right there. You drop bars about the independent side of things as well. You know what I love is just like one thing that we talk about a lot, and I talk about this as well, is this idea that like, you can't be a successful artist unless you're, you know, the levels of these superstars out here.
So, yeah, I probably should have watched that a little bit more carefully.
I mean, listen, I, as a musician, someone who worked as a professional musician for a decade, it has always been this way. Musicians don't get paid unless you are a superstar. I'm not saying that that's a great thing. I wish our culture valued artistry, but it doesn't. It values a show and pageantry and explosions.
Yeah.
It doesn't value virtuosity and true musicianship. That's just not what our culture values. And it never really has in this country. And it's not something that's new. It's not something that's new. Now, if you want to make money as a musician, you be an incredible instrumentalist. Because if you are a killer drummer, you're going to work in a whole bunch of bands. Right? But like, if you... I mean, I'm not saying this is a good thing. I wish we paid musicians. I'm just saying it's nothing even remotely new, in my opinion. But
you know, there is another train of thought, and I'm gonna let this guy talk about it, and then I'll get your all's thoughts on it, and we'll close this out. Let's hear him. Maybe.
Are we not
without the
talk
internet?
about journey?
Yeah, it's true. So anyway,
What?
so the lifestyle of a band.
This,
Yes,
like, about
you
going
have
journey
to
and stuff?
we talked about it.
We
during-
live in a
Yeah.
dedicated lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
You live in a van. You go out on tour. You live in the van. Yes. You sleep on floors. Yes. You sleep underneath pool tables in some strange house in Connecticut.
You're often dirty.
You're dirty. You might get a shower.
Maybe.
There were no hotel rooms.
Not starting out. Yeah.
Starting out, there's no tour bus.
That's
Right.
true. As money as it is.
Okay, so
It's always been that way.
again, so that brings me to another question: is it society that has changed in terms of what is expected when you go out on tour?
Yeah, if these people are expecting
Versus-
a lavish tour with
Right.
catering, then yeah, you're going to lose some money if nobody knows who you
Look,
are.
if you're in a local band and you're trying to make it big, you're going to sleep in your fucking car for like 5 years. I mean,
that's the running joke of being a struggling musician.
I don't know. So again, you
maybe
hear
it's
all this stuff.
expectations. I don't
Right.
know.
That's kind of where I'm coming from, is that I think the expectation is being changed in terms of what to expect when you go out on that tour. You know, and again, because you're not making a lot of money when you start out. So, and even if you get to a certain level of success, you know, you're going to have to sacrifice certain things to go out on tour. I mean, I think that's obvious, is that you're going out on tour to connect with your fans.
Well, yeah, and to get heard, especially when you're a no-name band, you're going out to get your music out in the world.
I want to hear more from these guys. These guys
Yeah.
are great.
Nobody's got money for a hotel.
No, this because like, I mean, like, so when you go out and see a band, like if you've never been in a band and you go out and see a band playing at like your local bar, they're not making a ton of money.
No, they're
Or your
making like
local
$20
VFW.
a head. Like
they're
a
making
person.
zero money probably.
Yes, exactly.
But no, like,
they don't
like
make
a live
any
band.
money at the bars. That's
Right.
always been
Right.
that way. And they're lucky if they get a share of the tips. They're lucky if they get a share of the tips. And is that
They're lucky if they
right?
get help loading in.
Yes, it's always been that way.
I was in a fucking band.
I
you know?
mean, yeah. I had
It's an entertainer's lifestyle. If you can't handle it, then you need to get the fuck out. I mean, that's, again, I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm sorry. What do you?
Yeah.
You
Go ahead.
expect like 3-chord Jimmy on the guitar to make $100,000 a year? No, be an incredible musician, and then
Jimmy.
I mean, I'm sorry, but half of these touring bands, that's what they are. They can barely play their instruments. Listen. I'm a musician. I fully support paying musicians for their time.
Sure.
However, if you are expecting to take your 3 chords to the bars in Joe Schmo, Idaho, and make $100,000 a year, honey.
Yeah, it's not gonna
honey. Okay,
You're wasting your time.
not gonna happen.
Wasting your time. Anyway, I would love to get your thoughts on this, on what you think of the touring industry as a whole, bands that tour. What are some good tour stories you have? Let us know down in the comments. Make sure you like the video, subscribe so you know when we go live. We will see you in the next one.